Got
Let's get
a
it.
tough NFC West matchup here. Hot Seattle Seahawks team coming into this Arizona Cardinals team that's looking to work their way back up the ladder after getting starting slow. They get D-Hop back. Their offense is looking a little bit more fiery. Arizona's a 2-point favorite here at home, even though Seattle's been crushing it. You guys think it's the same way? I'm on the board with the Seahawks, and for me, the gem for the Seahawks, it's not the corners that are like the two best corners in the league. It's not the offense. It's not the offensive rookie of the year with the running back there with Walker. It's the sacks. They're getting after the quarterback. Last time they sacked Kyler Murray 6 times. And I see that continuing. I see them giving Kyler Murray trouble. They know what to do. It's divisional matchup. They know how to slow this man down. So I got to go Seahawks to win it, to beat him again.
Yeah, unfortunately, Braid, I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to take the Hawks here. Shout outs to my boy Ree. I'm taking the Hawks here. I'm going for the sweep. Going to take the Hawks here, but I'm going to take the Hawks because just Kenny Walker in this run game and Geno is just still playing lights out. Big shout outs to Tyler Lockett for just getting through adversity in that Giant game. Dory Jackson rips the ball right out of his hands on the 2-yard line. Dude's like, I was down. He was not down. Giants get that ball, give it to Barkley, touchdown. Then he has a ball go right through his hands in the end zone for a touchdown to put them up, and they don't get it. So he came through and got through adversity in that game. And I'm going to look for Seattle to bend and not break against Arizona. And that Tyler Lockett offense with, Geno Smith just playing out of his mind, them just smashing the button and pulling the trigger to get Kenneth Walker, Michigan State. Just another excellent acquisition to the Seattle Seahawks to just elevate that team and elevate that game. I'm going Seattle here, and it's because they're just firing on all cylinders. But I will note that I am a little bit scared. I realize that you just talked about two of the best DBs in the league. They're very young. We have a DeAndre Hopkins on the other side of the line of scrimmage that needs to be accounted for in this game. And I'm sure that Pete Carroll's not going to allow this to go unnoticed, and he will try and devise a game plan to take care of D-Hop. But that is a concern of mine because all he needs is one play. It doesn't matter how many yards. He needs one play to score. And, now Arizona's winning. I think potentially this game is going to go a little bit better than the last time these two teams met because the last time these two teams met, they didn't have D-Hop, Arizona. So look for this game to be a little bit more of an interesting game this time around than the last time we seen this game. Nikki, I'm going to Hawks. How about you?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you, Ed. I'm going Seattle as well. When you look at these two teams, they're real similar in a lot of ways. You got Geno Smith, Kyler Murray. You got DeAndre Hopkins. You got DK Metcalf. You got Rondell Moore. You got Tyler Lockett. The two things for me in this game that separates it is Kenneth Walker. In the rushing game for Seattle, I think is a little bit better than Arizona. They're scoring a little bit more points per game as well. And then the defense, like Brady was touching on with the sacks, and then the corners as well, I think are a little bit better than Arizona's corners. So you got the defense for Seattle is a little bit better, and then the run game for me. I think other than that, these teams are real similar. They're putting up around the same amount of points per game, around the same yards per game. They're letting up around the same. Overall, they're pretty similar stat wise across the board. But I think Kenny Walker has a good game in this game. And like Eddie said, don't you gotta give D-Hop the respect he deserves in this game for sure. But I think Seattle handles it nicely, and Pete Carroll with the game plan and everything. So Seattle.
They very well have the size and speed to stop DeAndre Hopkins, but this is DeAndre Hopkins we're talking about.
I'm completely opposite of you guys on this one. I'm going Cardinals. Kyler Murray quietly had one of his best games of the year against Seattle. They just couldn't score touchdowns. I think Hopkins is a big deal. I agree. I think that's a big difference maker. Kyler Murray ran for 10 times for 100 yards against Seattle in the last matchup. Seattle was only able to score 1 touchdown on them. They didn't look offensively like juggernauts against the Giants last week either, and that was at home. I'm taking Cardinals. I think the offense has shown over the past 2 weeks since Hopkins has come back on. They've scored, what was it, like 27 against the Vikings and 30 something against the Saints the previous week since Hopkins has returned. You get Rondale Moore, you move him to the slot. I think this offense is a lot better with Hopkins back. Just the fact that he's on the field, let alone that, it opens up Ertz, it opens up Rondale's game, and Hopkins is going to do what he does. So I'm taking Cardinals here. That's taken nothing away from Seattle. Seattle has been great. They've overachieved in my mind, but I felt like they were going to be in 1-score games this whole year coming into it. And Geno Smith's been impressive. Kenneth Walker is impressive. I think DK being still a little banged up. I know he's got to be playing through pain. Not going to be the same kind of DK difference maker. I don't see him, tracking down a Buda Baker in this game and catching him from behind on an interception return. But he's still a factor. Lockett bouncing back from the adversity, like you mentioned, huge leadership there with Seattle is huge, but they're still a very young team. And not that I like Kingsbury at all over there in Arizona, but I think Arizona pulls this one out. I think talent for talent, Arizona with Hopkins on the field is the more talented team in this one.
Yeah, I feel like this is a game the Cardinals should be winning. I believe they are the favorites, being at home, but also just like the ESPN analysis, they're heavily picked over the Seattle Seahawks. But just the way the Cardinals have been this offense, you drafted this quarterback first overall right after you just drafted a guy the previous year first overall, because you got this head coach that was his head coach. You're supposed to have this fluidity and nice rhythm between the two of you, good communication. And this year, all of that's gone. They look like they hate each other. Like, it doesn't look pretty. And, one of these dudes is going to have to go within the next year or two because it's not pretty. And you just paid Kyler Murray $50 million a year. So,
agreed.
It's not looking good for them. So when it comes down to it, if it comes down to, I'm going to choose the quarterback who's hugging his coach, not the one that's trying to fight his coach.
Squeezing his butt, maybe, too.
Yeah. He does his thing.